We are back at it again with another Flashback Friday. Today's trip down memory lane takes us to 1342 119th Street. The 12,414 square foot building was built in 1902 by Solomon Saul Recht. Recht was born on December 17, 1852 in Krakow, Austria. Although we know Krakow residing in Poland, in the 1880s it was ruled by the Austrian government. Here's a picture of what the building looked like when it was built in 1902. According to the 1920 census, Saul Recht's native language was Yiddish, so I am assuming he was of Jewish descent. He immigrated to America in 1888. After some time, he made his way to Whiting, Indiana. He opened his first general store at 111 through 113 119th Street, which was located on the east side of the city. After seeing some success, he decided to build a new building for his business here at the corner of 119th Street and Clark. At the time, the address for Recht's department store was 556 119th Street. After only 4 years, Solomon Recht found himself in some financial difficulties. In 1906, Recht was forced into involuntary bankruptcy. To avoid creditors closing in on him and his inventory, Solomon disappeared and hid the majority of his stock. However, the long arm of the law soon discovered Recht's whereabouts, and his entire stock and fixtures were sold at public auction. According to a full-page advertisement in the Lake County Times, dated November 2nd, 1906, the ad said, "Forced to retire." The auction was facilitated by the Chicago Salvage Company, and Recht is quoted as saying, "It has come, but we could not help it. We are in debt, but we are honest. We must sacrifice our entire stock in order to save our good name." And here is a copy of the advertisement that was in the paper in 1902. The auction lasted for 10 days. $35,000 worth of merchandise was to be closed out at 27 cents on the dollar. Recht did issue a guarantee. He said, "We assure each and every purchaser absolute satisfaction. We guaranteed every garment, every price, and every statement here. We'll take back, exchange, or refund your money or any purchases unsatisfactory for whatever reason." But Solomon Recht did not go away without a fight. He was somehow able to restructure his finances and once again reopened his department store on this corner. That was until 1909 when he was forced again into bankruptcy. This time, he reorganized his department store as a furniture store, but this too was short-lived. In March 20th, 1912, the Seifer Furniture Store moved from 515 New York Avenue to Recht's building at 556 119th Street. The advertisement stated, "Seifer must have more room. Can't handle our increasing business at the old store. Will make the new store one of the most up-to-date furniture stores in Lake County." Sam Seifer was the head of 4 large furniture stores bearing his name. The stores were located in Hammond, Whiting, Gary, and Park Forest, Illinois. He remained at the corner of 119th Street and Clark for a few years, but the success of his business forced him into larger accommodations. By 1918, Solomon Recht was once again on top. He reopened the Recht's Complete Furniture Store here at this corner. The store remained open only for a few years though. By 1921, the building at 556 119th Street was occupied by a couple of physicians, Dr. William Gondon, a dentist, and Dr. O.G. Mackey, a general practitioner with the building's new tenants. Gondon was born in 1897. His father, Alfonso, was from Pennsylvania, and his mother, Maud, was from the Hoosier State. Likewise, Colonel Mackey was born on May 27, 1890 in Indiana. His father was from Virginia, and his mother was from Pennsylvania. The physicians only remained at this address for a few years. By 1929, the building served as a club room for the Fraternal Order of Eagles. Here's a copy of William Gondon from the Whiting Yearbook, the Reflector. I think he was a senior at this time. The Fraternal Order of Eagles was established in Whiting in 1905. Whiting became the 1,251st chapter to receive acknowledgement by the National Order of Eagles. There was 78 chapter members of the Whiting area, 1,251 lodge. The Eagles organized in order to look after sick members and to promote good fellowship. In addition, the Fraternal Order of Eagles established a sick and funeral benefit for its members. In 1931, the Cozy Corner Confectionery opened up at 556 119th Street. 2 years later, the Hoosier Drug Store opened up shop with the new address 1342 119th Street, and that's what we know this building as today. The drugstore was truly a family affair. Benjamin Gardner served as the manager, Daniel Gardner was a clerk, and Henry Gardner was the pharmacist. From 1939 to 1945, the business altered its name and it was now called the Hoosier Walgreen Drugstore. Their slogan at the time was "Drugs with a Reputation." In the 1948 City Directory, the address of what is now 1342 19th Street was called Benjamin Gardner Drugs. However, from 1952 to 1964, the City Directories again list the address as the Hoosier Drugstore. The ribbon cutting for the newly remodeled and modernized Ralph Restaurant, located at 1342 19th Street, was held on August 7, 1969. The new owners were Dorothy and Jean Ralph. According to a newspaper article, Mr. and Mrs. Stewart Ralph are the original owners of the Ralph's Restaurant, and they sold their interest in the business several years ago to their son, Jean, and his wife, Dorothy. The Whiting Library's own Mary Kirshner worked there as a waitress. Ralph's Restaurant stayed in business through 1976. According to the 1977 City Directory, 1342 119th Street had a new owner and name, Bonnie Drabeck, whose maiden name was Ralph, and she opened up the Drabeck's Restaurant. It was only here for a little bit. In 1978, the building at the corner of 119th Street and Clark once again had a new owner. The Adamopoulos family opened up a new restaurant, Dimitri's Cake and Steak. The family-style restaurant was a mainstay in the city of Whiting for over 2 decades. However, in the middle of the 2000s, the building was rebranded as the Sunrise Restaurant, with Juan and Fernando Villaseñor serving as owners. In April 2005, a driver of a stolen 2003 Ford Explorer brought down part of this landmark structure. The 2 men riding in the front seat escaped on foot, but 2 16-year-old girls with minor injuries remained at the scene. A third 16-year-old girl fled, but was later flagged down by police car and explained her involvement in the incident. At 12:40 a.m., Hammond police officer Richard Howard pulled over the SUV at the 1800 block of 119th Street. After noticing the vehicle unsafely moving between lanes, when the officer approached the vehicle, the driver sped away and headed east on 119th Street. When the driver attempted to turn right onto Clark, the vehicle smashed head-on to the doorway of Sunrise Restaurant. The force of the impact dislodged the steel pole supporting a turret, which was part of the apartment above the doorway. The pole was knocked 5 to 7 feet off its base, and the turret crashed down through the restaurant's sign and awning onto the sidewalk. Jose Miguel Rodriguez of Chicago was charged with auto theft and 5 counts of resisting law enforcement. Although there was not much structural damage to the building, the main concern was keeping the building's architectural details. Approximately a month later, Sunrise Restaurant reopened for business. While the building was open for business, work still continued on the second-story turret, part of the building's unique features. Today, Sunrise Restaurant is still in business. On the weekends, you can see a line forming around the building, waiting to enjoy the cuisine from one of Whiting's most beloved eateries. Join us again on Friday, September 11th at 12 p.m. when we'll share a history behind another one of Whiting's unique buildings. And I do have some pictures here. The first one is a bunch of snapshots from the yearbook, Whiting's yearbook, and it features Ralph's restaurant and the different waitresses and students being filmed. I got a picture of sunrise after the accident. You can see the turret collapse. See another picture of the building here. Got one here when it was a drugstore. This is how 119th Street looked with all the lights. And then I got a couple of when you could see the turret still standing. Picture of the Dimitri Cake and Steak house. And then the last one, same picture, but in color. Alright, I want to thank everyone for coming and watching our Whiting Public Library's live feed of Flashback Friday. Check back on Monday when we will be doing at 11 a.m. we will be doing what's on the menu Monday. We have a savory recipe we'll be trying this week. So thank you again for stopping by.